Hey family, we're back for another installment of Manhood Mondays. This is our weekly devotionals where we focus on biblical principles that promote biblical manhood. Today, I want to talk to you about the freedom of forgiveness. You see, it's been said that unforgiveness is the poison that you sip, hoping that someone else will die. Unforgiveness will keep you in bondage, and it gives the person that you're holding the grudge against power over you that they do not deserve. But on the other hand, forgiveness is the idea of releasing that person from the offense and moving forward in the freedom that comes from the gospel. As we talk about this freedom that is found as a result of forgiving others, I want to do so by looking through the lens of an individual in the Old Testament. And that man is Esau. Esau had every reason to be angry and every reason to hold the person that did him wrong accountable. You see, Esau was a man's man. He lived on the edge of danger, self-indulgence, and immediate gratification. He was a skilled hunter, and as a faithful son, he earned the favor of his father. Esau only had one problem, and that problem was his brother Jacob. See, Jacob was a deceiver. And on one faithful day, after Esau had been out hunting in the field to the point of exhaustion and starvation, Jacob convinced his brother Esau to sell his birthright to him for a bowl of lentil soup. Jacob would take it a step further and conspire with his mother to trick his father into blessing him with that birthright. And just like that, without knowing it, Esau had become his brother's victim. And without knowing it or even having a chance to acknowledge it, Esau had been wronged by the person who shared the same blood as him. When Esau discovered his brother's deception, he pleaded with his father. And soon his pleading turned into tears. And then those tears turned into anger, and that anger turned into rage. Esau made it up in his mind that the only course of action would be to kill his brother once he found him. And after 20 years, these brothers had no contact with one another. They got married, they had children, they built businesses together. But they lamented the fact that they didn't see each other for 20 years. And then one day, Esau received a message from his brother. And in this message, Jacob asked for forgiveness and he presented a peace offering. Esau's response to this would showcase his spiritual maturity that took place over 20 years, because he wanted to see his brother dead, but now he had a new response because of time spent with the Lord. Let's take a look of how this encounter with Esau and Jacob had gone down after seeing each other after 20 years. And then Jacob lifted his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau was coming and 400 men with him. So he divided the children among Leah and Rachel and the two maids. He put the maids and their children in front, and Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph last. But he himself passed on ahead of them and bowed down to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. And then Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. He lifted his eyes and saw the woman and the children and said, "Who are these with you?" So he said, "The children whom God has graciously given your servant." Then the maids came near with their children, and they bowed down. Leah likewise came near with her children, and they bowed down. And afterward, Joseph came near with Rachel, and they bowed down. And he said, "What do you mean by all this company which I have met?" And he said, "To find favor in the sight of my Lord." But Esau said, "I have plenty, my brother. Let what you have be your own." After 20 years, Esau made a choice to forgive his brother and release him of the offense that he made toward him. You see, Jacob saw his brother and was terrified, but Esau met his fear with forgiveness and freed him up to be reconciled to his brother. Family, I'm not denying the pain, nor am I minimizing the offense, but the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ is that we are people who have been forgiven much. And as people of the gospel, we should be willing to forgive those who have wronged us, even when they share the same blood as us. When you issue this forgiveness, just like Esau, you will experience the freedom that follows. God bless you, my brothers, and go forth this week and walk in freedom, the freedom of forgiveness.